Yes, it's a special series of interviews with textile artists all around the world, and they have one thing in common. They all use a textile hardener called Paverpol, which allows them to create sculptures and even put in the weather. Yes, it can be your garden sculptures. It's really phenomenal. And of course, every artist has its own way, its own voice, its own manner of expressing what they believe and they think is valuable for you to see. So we decided, okay, let's take a tour around the world from our homes, because that's the best way right now, and get to know them. And today we are going to be interviewing Brenda Helfrich. Now, before we dive into the interview itself, just a few announcements. We are live, and the main reason we are live is because we love your interaction. Yes, if you have any comments or questions to Brenda, please use the chat box or comment box, depending on where you're watching, to do that. You write Brenda first, and I get here on my computer, I can ask her and she will answer directly to you. And of course, you have a community of people interested in textiles. So do interact in the chat as well. It's a unique opportunity to find like-minded people. And the other thing is, you know, this is information only. There's nothing being sold. So share this out. Share this out because we want to get the word out about how cool this kind of techniques are around the world. So take a second, get the link on top of the page where you're watching, and spread the word. Put on social media, create a post, or if you have seen a post about this interview, make a comment on that. You can call people, you can send an email and say, come on over. We are going to spend an amazing hour together and you're going to learn so much. But most of all, you are going to be inspired. Yes, to create new things, create beauty. That's what the world needs right now. And the last thing is, of course, we will be talking about Paverpol and Paverpol products because, again, that's the commonality between all these artists. So at the bottom of the screen, you're going to be seeing a few websites. So let me explain what it is. If you never heard of these products before, you might be very curious and want to know more. So there is a website for you if you are in the US. Then you're going to see the website if you are in South Africa. And then you're going to see paverpol.com, where it will lead you to all distributors in the world. So wherever you are in the world, Japan, Philippines, Canada, you have the list of distributors there. You can click and get to know the products that they have in your area. Okay, so just for you to make sure you don't miss anything, those websites will always provide you more information about the products. Okay, so I want to welcome now Brenda Helfrich. How are you doing today?
Shahar, I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. I can see a main difference between you and me. You want to know what it is?
And what's that?
I'm
Yes.
wearing a coat and you have a fan near you. So we are right now having some snow in Utah, USA. Tell me how's the weather in Johannesburg, South Africa?
Well, at the moment we have moved into autumn, so it should be cooling down. It has cooled down, thankfully. But at the moment, I think it's about 26 degrees centigrade here. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
It's
But
pretty
it's
hot.
nice and warm. You can still swim, and it's beautiful. Like you say, there's a fan on.
I know,
Otherwise, the
I
guy has a heat.
know. 72 Fahrenheit is 21 centigrades. So you're pretty hot for me. Anything above
And
21 is hot for me.
and it is late afternoon here.
Yeah, here it's
So
early
it
morning.
was a lot warmer. It was a lot warmer before this.
That's good. Are you a native from South Africa?
Yes, born and bred in South Africa,
Oh, cool.
barely ever left.
And in same city all your life?
No, no, I was born in a tiny little city called Witbank.
Uh-huh.
And then I moved to Pretoria, which is the administrative capital of South Africa.
Okay.
And for the last 22 years, I've been living in Johannesburg.
Oh, that's very cool. You know that South Africa is really on my bucket list, especially because of, you know, access to animals, and I'm fanatic about animals. But I grew up with a song from Johannesburg that my father used to play all the time. Maybe you heard of that before. It went the words are going to be wrong because I don't speak the language, but it was something like takuntuga dakudaga bawi patapata dakutuga dakuaga bawi patapata patapata is the name of the dance,
Oh,
and we
the
doing
Pata Pata
Johannesburg
song.
way. Yes, Miriam Akiba. Yeah, my
Ah,
father
yes,
used
that's a
to play
beautiful
that
song.
over and over and over and over, and yeah, we used to dance together. So I have very beautiful memories about that. That's so
It's a
cool.
beautiful song.
So,
Yes.
Brenda,
And yes, you definitely do have to come to Johannesburg or to South Africa
oh
because we
yes,
have a world in one country.
I
There's
know.
such diversity. You absolutely have to do it.
I bet, I bet. Actually, what if we show a little bit of your city to our folks?
Good idea.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, there's no sound.
When I see the food, I say, I gotta go, I gotta go. It looks delicious, amazing. Yeah,
Very traditional food shown over there.
yes, yes. I'm a bit familiar with the kind of crafts produced there because I actually have a very good friend called Sabina Zunguzi. She used to live here in Utah and now she's in the East Coast. And she runs an organization called A Gift to Africa, where she teaches refugees the crafts and how to improve what they already know how to make. And then, of course, she sells here, and the money goes back to Africa. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I know that the use of color in the crafts and art industry is just amazing, amazing. Now we showed Johannesburg, but would you like to know the countries that are watching you today?
You
Just to
really
make
want
you
to make
feel
me
at easy.
nervous.
I do, I do. So we are welcoming to this interview US, UK, Canada, Germany, South Africa, of course South Africa, lots of South Africans here, Mexico, Netherlands, Sweden, Romania, Philippines, Japan, Australia, Denmark, Malaysia, India, and Ireland to this broadcast. So welcome everybody. You're going to be amazed at what Brenda creates. Actually, she's introducing this new medium to her country, so she will make even more interesting making art. So, Brenda, tell me first, before we show anything, how did you get started with art as a whole?
Oh, well, that's quite a story. I have always loved art. My mother says that I used to draw from the moment that I worked out which side of a pencil makes a mark.
Uh-huh.
And she also says that if new friends came to play, I used to make them draw. And if they didn't draw the way I liked them to draw, then I wouldn't play with them, which I think is a lie. I'm sure I wouldn't have done that.
Uh,
So I've always loved art. And that
mhm.
was my aim in life. That's all that I wanted to do until I went to study art after school. And
Oh,
within
good.
2 weeks, I knew that I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Uh-huh.
And so I think it could be because as artists, we are all rebels. And when you go to art school, they try to tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us want to be told what to do.
Yes.
So I flunked out of art school and I went and studied mechanical engineering instead. I worked in
That's
corporate
very
for 18
different.
years. Well, in sculpting, there's quite a bit of technical stuff that goes into it. So it actually is a help.
Uh-huh.
So I worked in corporate for 18 years. Then I pushed to be retrenched, and I've been playing with art ever since, which is now 20, no, 19 years that I've been playing with art on a
Wow.
pretty regular basis.
Uh-huh. That's funny. I
Yes,
also
and
went to study arts, and same thing happened to me. At the beginning, I thought too many rules.
yep.
Yeah.
And
And
so
and
I couldn't,
you couldn't do it. And then what happened
I just
next?
couldn't do it, no. In terms of art,
Hmm.
well, I tried all kinds of media. I draw and I paint a lot still. Well, not that much anymore, but I do still draw and paint. I tried ceramics, which I really loved, but then it's quite a thing having to fire it and then refire it. And then I decided, okay, let's work with polymer clay, which I love doing as well.
Good.
And then I watched a Beverly Oliver course on Curious Mondo and
Uh-huh.
discovered Paverpol.
That's cool.
I frantically hunted all over the country trying to find some Paverpol, and there wasn't any.
Hmm.
So somebody suggested that I contact the manufacturer, which I did. And so I have now become the South African stockist.
That's
And I'm
cool.
loving every moment of it.
That's good. And I
This
know you
is,
have some pieces with you that you have created. So
I do.
can you show me some of them?
Well, if I move out of the way, you might see some behind me.
Yes. I was actually quite curious about those. So all those pieces, and how long have you started working with this medium?
Uh, I think it is just short of, well, it's just over a year and a half
Hmm.
that I
Wow.
managed to finally get the product and started working with it.
So you've been busy. And I know you have some pieces very close to you, so show me one of them.
Okay, so let me just show you one. This is a mixed media um, Paverpol, which
Uh-huh.
is the wings are tissue and Paverpol,
Wow.
transparent Paverpol on yellow tissue. And then the body, the dress, is covered in decorative relief, which
Oh,
is one of
beautiful.
my absolute favorite products.
Uh-huh.
I use it wherever I can. So she is a combination of Paverpol, as I've said, the Paverpol on the
The
outfit
relief.
and the wings.
Uh-huh.
And the book is also hardened with Paverpol. And then the rest of her is polymer clay. So
Cute.
you can
It
get the
looks like a
detail in
brownie
the face
fairy,
and
doesn't it?
everything. I think I might have been uh, inspired by that one. And then she has teddy bear fur as
Oh,
her hair.
cute, 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 cute. Do you have another there?
So I have a lot of fairies, but I can show you something else.
Okay, I want to see. And while you grab that, Bree saying, Brenda, don't be nervous, just friends here.
I'm actually not nervous, strangely enough. All right, so here we have um, a mermaid.
Oh, look at
Again,
that.
decorative relief.
Uh-huh.
I love this
Oh,
product. I
I love
absolutely
the
adore
texture.
decorative relief. It is
Yes.
so beautiful. And then I covered the um, base with Paverpol as well, the bronze.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And she has the teddy bear fur hair and polymer clay body.
Very cool. Very
I
cool.
love the combination of the two of them together,
Uh-huh.
the
Yes.
Paverpol with the polymer
Well,
clay. And I know that last week a lot of people were asking, can you combine the two? Well, yes, you definitely can.
uh-huh. Yes, that's true. I remember that question actually. Now,
I
I
just want to
love
show
that you
you one
mix them.
more.
Oh, yes, as many as you
I
want.
just want to show you one more. This one is a little lightning bug.
Oh,
And here you've got the standard Paverpol draping. But, oh, and I use Paverpol on his legs and to make his hat. But
beautiful.
this one is special because I use decorative relief in his bottom and it lights up.
Oh my gosh, I love
So
it.
what I did with this was I used a little water balloon and I covered it with decorative relief with transparent and then put little LEDs into it. Isn't he sweet? Look,
It's
lights up.
gorgeous. I have a thing for bugs. I don't like them when they are around my hair, but I love bugs. That's a gorgeous idea. Oh, Brenda, I don't know.
I
I think I see a course in the. It's that moment, the moment that I get some inspiration and say, maybe a course would be cool. Very good.
okay. Well, if you like bugs, then I have to
Uh-huh.
show you another one.
Okay.
Uh, oopsie. This one is another very much a decorative relief one. The wings
Wow.
are made from decorative relief. So if I bring it a little bit closer, maybe you can see the wings
It's
nicely.
decorative
If I can work out
relief
which way.
on top of something.
Yes, just decorative relief, which I cut out into the shapes of the wing
Uh-huh.
and then hardened with bronze, and then I painted it.
And you painted. Wow.
So this is my moth lady,
Uh-huh.
Madam Moth.
Oh my gosh. I
Teddy
have a
bear
bigger
fur
thing for
again
moths,
and
I have to
polymer
tell
clay.
you. Wow. No.
Okay, so there's one more bug that I need to show you.
Okay. Okay.
This one is ladybug. You get Madam Butterfly. This one is
Oh,
ladybug.
look at that. So
This
cute.
this is also Paverpol, but it was I just used Paver wrappers, which I put onto a balloon
Uh-huh. A
and
balloon
then
too.
put many layers. Yes, on a balloon so that I could get the shape. And
Gorgeous.
then her outfit is also made with Paverpol
I love it, Brenda.
and fabric. So I
I
do the draping sometimes.
I know we are going to show a lot of your pieces, but I have to tell you already, these are my favorites. And I'm not kidding when I say I love moths. Look what I have on my table today. Look at this. And
Yes, I did see that. That's
it's
so
also
gorgeous.
Paverpol. I love moths. I embroider them. I make them in all kinds of shapes. The funny thing is, I've never seen more than a tiny one in real life. So still things to conquer here, seeing them, the beautiful big ones in other places. I have a few comments for you. Bree saying, so fun learning about things from all over the world. Joe Rebecca, we should start an art school dropout club. I'll run for the board. Rena, please show us your bat people. You have bat people too?
Oh, of course.
Okay, let's do
Okay.
it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So you might have seen the so-called Batman
Uh-huh.
on the whole franchise. This is the real Batman. I mean, how do you have a Batman who doesn't have wings?
True.
So,
Yes.
so
It
this
makes
is
things very
made.
complicated, actually.
You can't have a Batman without leather wings. So the leather wings here that I've got on him are hardened with Paverpol. I use transparent Paverpol. It's proper natural leather that I use there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gorgeous.
um, bats need to have really good claws
Uh-huh.
because they have to be able to hang on to the perch at night. So
Yeah,
you'll see his
and stays
toenails.
upside down as well. Yeah.
My
Oh,
son
look at the
hates his
fur.
toenails, but his toenails are necessary. Otherwise, he can't
Yes.
properly grip when he's sleeping at night. So there
Uh-huh.
we have again very mixed media. I've got the polymer clay for his legs, his hands, and his head.
Very cool.
Teddy bear fur as a body covering, and then the Paverpol hardened wings and Paverpol covered base.
Nice. Very cool.
So I have
Very
a
cool.
whole family. I have Batman, Bat Grandpa, Bat Grandma, Bat
Uh-huh.
Woman. Oh, I should probably show you my Bat Children because they're quite cute.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Bat Boy.
Oh, look at that bad boy.
Oops.
I like his
So
face.
I don't know who told him a joke, but he
Uh,
seems to think something is hilarious. I think he might be laughing at his sister who's trying to skip with a skipping
uh-huh.
rope. So here she is. She's learning to skip with a skipping rope,
Oh, look at that.
and I think he thinks it's hilarious.
And her wings are quite cool too. Very
They are
cool.
also
Yes.
leather, and there's Paverpol with Paverplast over here on
Uh-huh.
the wing struts. Paverpol hardened skipping rope.
Very cool.
I love the
Very cool.
product. I love it. I love it. I
Yes,
look for
and
excuses
I
to use
think you
it.
found many creative ways of using it. Susan Barr is asking, what is decorative relief? Is it also Paverpol? So I know you have a tutorial about that that we are going to show later, correct? So what if we
Yes,
answer this question a little later? What do you say?
we can do
Or
that.
or are you eager to answer? It's up to you.
Well, I can answer that part. Is it Paverpol? Yes, it
Yes?
is one of the Paverpol products, and I believe that it is made from bamboo. So it's a
Oh, interesting.
natural um, uh, textured sheet that you
Uh-huh.
can use on products, but you'll see it better in the little demo.
Awesome. And what do you say that before we show them more pieces, we take a look in your studio? Because I know you have prepared a studio tour for us. Let's take a
Okay,
look.
it's not much of a tour, but yes,
It's
please go
okay.
ahead.
Let's watch.
So this is my studio where I work, as well as where I train my people. Yeah, I do paint. Tons of unfinished work. I normally would cover all of these tables with plastic when I have people coming. So in total I can accommodate about 6 people. On this little table over here I would normally put examples of what we're going to be doing. This time I've just got a few of the Paver scrub or granite items. And there we have it. That's all there is to it.
Space for classes, isn't it? Can you hear me, Brenda? She froze a little bit, but while we get her, I have a few. Are you there now? Yes? Okay, I don't have sound here. Bree is saying all those pieces are so cute. Joe, Rebecca, so great having all this exposure to artists from all around the world. Bree wants to know, Brenda, did you harden the leather wings with Paverpol?
Yes, I did. I use transparent Paverpol on all of them.
That's cool. Now, Brenda, I know you sent us the video of your studio this morning because you had an unfortunate event happening, correct?
Yes, I did.
What
We
happened?
had a lot of rain. We had an enormous amount of rain, and the ceiling in my studio collapsed.
Oh,
So I've had people here until just earlier today, probably 2 hours ago,
uh-huh.
repairing my ceiling, painting the ceiling,
Wow.
yeah, because I can smell the paint.
Yeah.
But as a result, I haven't shown you any of my products because I had to move them all down into the garage, and I
Okay.
haven't moved them back yet.
Yes, of course. But did it damage any of your pieces?
No, fortunately not. I was
Okay,
very
good.
lucky with that.
Good, 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 good. Yeah, so then we fix the ceiling and we move on, correct?
Yeah, and we carry on. Absolutely.
Webby Sheila is saying, Brenda, you're such a multi-talented artist, and what I've seen so far, it's amazing. I want to show some pictures of your pieces, and you are welcome to comment on them as we show. Is that okay? Let's show
Okay.
about 5.
Yes. Okay.
Do you see it?
This one, I was experimenting with lace. You can probably tell. She's got various lace bits all over her. And I used some color shift paint on her as well, just to see what happens if I paint over the bronze. And I really like the way it turned out.
Uh-huh.
Oh, everybody should know this one. This is what I did for the Paverpol, Fiber Symposium.
Yes, the Fiber
And it is,
Symposium.
yes, and this, it's amazing the beautiful work that has come from this that I've seen since then, where everybody has tried their hand at it. I really, really, I'm very impressed.
Mm-hmm.
So your symposiums do work.
Yes.
This is one of my very easy short courses that I offer. Just a lady with first using black and then using transparent in the color of their color of choice, and then it turns out so beautifully.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, my tall people. I this was two of my these were actually two of my very early ones. There were probably about the third or fourth ones that I made. But I fell in love with Paverpol so quickly that I just I loved doing it, and these guys made me love it even more because they came out so effectively.
Yes, I like them. Oh, the old lady.
This is, in fact, my second Paverpol thing that I made. Her
You're
outfit
kidding.
is Paverpol.
Wow.
No. Obviously, the polymer clay I did, but her outfit and hair is both Paverpol. I used Paver cotton for her hair, and then just stiffened cotton for her dress
Hmm.
and apron.
Very cool.
Ooh, I like this one as well. I used lace, and then I also used a mixture of Paverpol and Paverplast and Paver sand, which I mixed into. I rubbed over everything, so he eventually looked like stone with the lace carving patterns in him. He actually came out very beautifully. I am very impressed with him. He's got polymer clay feet and plastic eyes, but everything else is Paverpol.
Very cool, very cool. I love them. They're great. Now, Brenda, I know you
Thank you.
haven't, you started, you said a year and a half ago. Have you had any chance to sell or put your work in galleries, or are you in the process of doing that?
Yes, I'm in the process of doing it. I have sold, I actually did a market and did sell some stuff there,
Very
but I
cool.
don't really like doing markets. I find it soul destroying sitting there
Uh-huh.
hearing people saying they could do better and their child who's 5 could make a better project.
Oh, yeah.
I just can't stand that. And there don't seem to be any art walks in South Africa, the thing that
Right.
you mention often.
That is
So I haven't done that.
quite common where Beverly is, right? The art walks, where she
Yes,
lives in
yes.
Canada. Yeah.
So I do have a gallery that I have been speaking to. So I should
Ah,
be getting my
yes.
stuff in there pretty soon.
Uh-huh.
And I have got my stuff up on Etsy.
Very cool, very cool. What
So
about, go ahead, sorry.
hopefully I'll be doing like Veronica Olivier and sending a lot of my things to the US.
Oh, yeah.
I've previously sold drawings and I can't even remember what, but I have sold things and most of my buyers have been American.
Uh-huh.
So hopefully my Paverpol things will be going across there too.
That's very cool. And what about classes? I know, of course, as a distributor, you give classes and certifications, but the COVID got in the way for sure, like it did with all of us.
Yeah.
So what are your plans now moving forward?
So firstly, I do offer online classes as well. So
Okay.
the process there is you register to do an online class, and then I courier all of the product over to you. Then we all meet up at the appointed time and date, and we do an online class. Actually, I did one.
Okay.
I want to show you my one. This one was an online class,
Oh, beautiful.
but the um, work that the other people did was so vastly different. It was amazing. And every
Uh-huh.
single one of them had the most beautiful product you can imagine. Their final sculpture was absolutely stunning. I was so very impressed,
Uh-huh. That's very cool,
which is the
very
case
cool.
with any class that you give. People do put their own spin on things.
I hope you're asking them to send you pictures of their work because it's going to be an amazing portfolio at some point.
They did. They
Awesome,
did.
awesome, cool.
But that is the way that I'm getting past the lockdown issue.
Hmm.
We can do courses from the comfort of your own home.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
But
Uh, I, for me, it's always a very different experience, right? So ideally, in the near future, you will have both. because the being there, you know, getting the hands dirty with everybody else is also very unique, and being there close to you so they can rub shoulders with you is always very fun. But the online experience can be very interesting as well, especially because you're sending the products, so they have everything there. So I think it's going to work just fine. A few other comments here and a few questions. Susan Barsan, glad you were safe, Brenda. Bree, oh no, collapsed the studio roof, awful. Glad nothing was damaged. Brenda, lace lady, was in her head, what is her head made from?
I cut the shape out of cardboard. I'm just trying to remember if I covered it with anything. Okay, I cut the shape out with cardboard, and then I put Paverpol with Paverplast on it, and then I put the lace on.
Very cool. And I just want to remind you guys from two things. First of all, if you want to ask any questions to Brenda, use the chat box or the comment box. We are monitoring everywhere we are broadcasting to. And you see some websites at the bottom of the video. So the first one is for the US only, paverpolamerica.com. Paverpol.com is the main one. Click on distributors, and you're going to find the distributor in your country. And mudcraft.co.za/Paverpol is Brenda's website. So if you are in South Africa, that's the one you want to go to, okay? So just to, you say, why am I seeing so many websites? Well, because you have a different distributor in every country. So mudcraft.co.za/Paverpol is the one for South Africa. A few more comments. Brenda, do you put, Barbara Feltz wants to know, do you put Paverpol on the polymer figure to make the outfit stick?
Okay, no. What I do is I only do the head, hands, and legs with polymer clay, and then I do the body as part of the armature. I use wire as the armature, and then I build it out with tin foil and masking tape. And then I normally put a layer of paver wrappers with Paverpol onto that before I add the Paverpol to the figure.
Elena, what is the name of your online store?
That's the one that's at the bottom of the screen here, mudcraft.co.za/Paverpol.
Okay. So you have in the market other textile hardeners and textile stiffeners. What do you see is the one great advantage of Paverpol over others?
Okay, so I have tried others before I could get hold of Paverpol, but not any of the ones that I have managed to find are outdoor safe. The Paverpol the product that we use from Paverpol, you can put it out into your garden, and I have had sculptures out in my garden since I started using the product, and they look the same today as they did when I put them there. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the big pluses is if you're making garden sculptures, Paverpol is definitely the product to use because it's going to last for years. I know Beverly, who lives in Canada, has her stuff out. She has her stuff out in rain and snow and sleet and blizzards and you name it, and her stuff has been out for years and it still looks as good as new.
True, true. And last week we saw Liz Sincere also with some of her herons. They are in the garden of a restaurant and they have been there for quite a while as well. So the fact that you can put outside. You also, we were talking a little bit before the interview, and you were also saying that for you, a lot of products, they look like fabric stiffeners, while this one is really a hardener. Can you develop on that?
Paverpol becomes hard as a rock. This one that we did, you can hear, it is as hard as rock. So the stiffeners that I've tried before, they make your product stiff. But Paverpol makes it really, really hard and very robust.
Very cool. What if we see some other pictures of your work?
Okay.
Let's see the first one. Oh, that's
Oh, there
another
we
bad
go.
guy.
That's his
That's the
bat
bad guy.
lady.
Oh,
Bat
bad
woman.
lady. Oh,
Yes. Same thing there. Paverpol hardened leather wings and Paverpol on the base.
okay. Do we have another? Let's see. Oh, another fairy.
And there again, you have the decorative relief and the wings once more made with tissue and Paverpol, transparent Paverpol, and then painted a little bit. Oh, A Night at the Opera.
Oh,
Lots of draped Paverpol there, draped with fabric, all the bronze. I love the bronze and the snooty look. Oh, and her hair is also Paver cotton.
very, very fancy. That's the same fairy
Oh,
that
the
you
fairy
just saw.
again.
Oh, some birds.
So these are stone birds. They're made from polystyrene balls, tinfoil, and then Paverpol products to make it look like stone. And these guys have been in my garden for a long time.
Well, I
The
see you
only
have
problem I have with
some live ones in the background as well.
I do.
Well, I can hear some birds, so
Oh,
they're cheering.
yeah.
So these ones are in your garden, correct?
Well, they're here now, but they have spent a long time in the garden.
That's very cool. Brenda, so you mentioned the relief quite a few times. Tell me a little bit about that, and then we will go to the tutorial.
Well, the relief, I use it because of the amazing texture that you get from it. As you've seen with the moth, that one I just cut out and used it as it was. But the rest of it, you stretch it out and you place it on your sculpt and end up with really stunning texture. Here we have another fairy you can see along her dress. The texture is just so stunning. I have to force myself not to use it because it is just so amazing
Yes, it
how
is.
beautiful it ends up looking. I love the stuff. So,
Very cool.
and the wings again, hard as rock, and it's made out of tissue.
Very, very cool. So let's watch that tutorial. And I have to tell you guys, this is a very quick tutorial that Brenda has prepared for us. It's supposed to introduce you to the possibilities that you have around the relief. So it's not a full class or full tutorial, but I bet you're going to understand much more how the relief can be used and be really inspired. So let's watch.
When I was asked to do a short Paverpol demo on one of the products that they have, I was at an absolute loss. Paverpol has such amazing products. Which one should I choose? Then I decided I use their relief decoration in so many of my sculpts. I absolutely adore this. It's so versatile, it's so beautiful, and it's really easy to use. So I thought, all right, I think I will show you how I added to one of my sculpts. So here we have a sculpture that I have prepared. I've put cling wrap onto her face. She's got a polymer clay face and shoulder section, and then, or chest placer I think it's called, and teddy bear fur for hair. So I've covered that with cling wrap so that when I start using the Paverpol on the sculpt, it's not going to mess her up a lot. I have prepared her body, which is an armature made of wire, and then bulked up with tin foils till I had the shape that I want. I've then put a wrap of Paver wrappers over the entire body and then painted a layer of just neat grey Paverpol onto it. This is enough preparation for me to start using the Paverpol relief decoration. So let us start. So what you're going to need for this, as with any Paverpol product, some kind of protection to your work surface. I've got a normal rubbish bag. You are going to need a spray bottle with water, just ordinary water. You will need some relief decoration and Paverpol. And that's all you're going to need. Oh, sorry, you need the whatever you're going to be decorating with it, and a bucket of water to clean your hands regularly. And that's everything that you're going to need. So let us start. First thing to do is to prepare your decorative relief. So I like the edges to be quite organic and natural. So I leave it exactly as it is on the sheet that I've bought. And then using the spray bottle, you just lightly dampen it. And this makes it a little bit weaker, so you can actually rip, in theory, you can rip the relief decoration off the larger sheet. Okay, a little bit more water. Then, taking the piece that you have ripped off, you can stretch it a little. And this is what you're going to be putting onto the sculpt. The other thing that I should have done in advance is to stir my Paverpol. I'll do that now. So having stretched it out a little, not terribly much because you're going to be stretching it more once it's on your sculpt, you dip the piece into just plain Paverpol. I'm using grey. When I say dip, I actually mean spread Paverpol onto it and make sure that it's saturated right through the decorative relief. Then you place it onto your sculpt. And this gives your sculpture an incredibly beautiful texture. I like to spread it out a little bit with a toothpick. And I will continue adding little pieces like this until her whole body is covered. Once it's dry, with a method of dry brushing, we bring out all the details of this beautiful texture, and then she will be a beautiful sculpt. Just look at how those little pieces look already. Isn't that gorgeous? And so, through the magic of pre-recording, her whole body has been covered. She's got quite an awesome texture all over the place. And she's dry. So now it is time to highlight everything with some paint. I'm going to be using various shades of green because she's a flower spirit. So, starting with very dark green, we're going to be doing what is called dry brushing. So I have a little bit of green here on a piece of paper. Take it, am I going to use this brush? Yes. Take a tiny bit on the brush and then take it all off the brush. Now we're going to apply it by going across the texture of the decorative relief. This way we're only really picking up the high points. I'll continue this with various shades of green until she looks exactly the way I want her to. And you can see how beautifully the texture is brought up by the paint. Let me get a little bit of lighter green here so that you can see it a bit better. Same thing, put on the brush and take it off. Look at that texture appearing. Isn't that gorgeous? I absolutely love this decorative relief. But then, I love all of Paverpol's products. Alright, so I'm going to carry on dry brushing, and so there you have it. Dry brushed, beautiful texture visible. And this is why I love decorative relief. Looks very plant-like. This is supposed to be the stem of my flower. And you'll see once she's mounted on her piece of wood with her flower headdress, you'll see that it works beautifully. So there we have her, my fairy dryad. With her headrest and her beautifully textured body. See why I love this product? It's awesome. Look at that texture. Isn't it beautiful?
Very cool, very cool. This is your last chance to ask questions. So if you have any final questions to Brenda, send them over and I'll ask her. So you have the figure there, Brenda?
I do.
Oh, let's see.
I do indeed.
Uh-huh. Very cool.
And this is also a new product. This is the new white Paverpol. They didn't have white
Ooh,
before.
you
So
got
I used
that.
that. I used it on her headdress
Very
because I thought
cool.
she would make a pretty good daisy.
It's really white. I like that. Ours is in the sea somewhere. We are getting it here, so I'm excited to try. I like it. It's very, very bright white. Very good.
Yes,
Very
it's
cool.
very white. And there we have the texture. And the reason I like to use grey is because you can see it gives it more shadows
Uh-huh.
when you actually do the highlighting. Now, I did notice that people are asking what kind of paint. I just used ordinary acrylic paint because this sculpt will never go outside because of her teddy bear fur hair.
Okay, so it's an
So
inside the
I
sculpture.
just used, this is an
I
inside sculpture, yes.
I have a few questions for you. The first one is about the birds you showed before. Elena wants to know, what do you use for armature inside the outdoor birds?
Polystyrene balls and tinfoil with masking tape.
That's it. Joe
That's
Rebecca,
it.
is the relief decoration fiber almost soft like fabric?
It is hard when you get it, but when you dampen it, then it does become very, very soft. And I see somebody says it's willow bark, it's not bamboo. My
Oh,
mistake.
okay. Pixie Heaven saying, I love the texture. Sue Keener, will acrylic paint stick to wrappers or only Paverpol paints stick to wrappers?
No, I use acrylic paint. If it's an indoor sculpt, then I'm quite happy to use acrylic paint. I use Pavercolor when it's going to be an outdoor sculpt because it's weatherproof. But I use normal acrylic paint for indoor things.
So for most things, whatever the acrylic you have would work. So
Yes, it
Brenda,
will.
can you use clear Paverpol on polymer clay after baked?
I do. I do. Yes.
Very cool. Okay. You have something that you want to say?
I'm just thinking, I'm not 100% sure what she means. Would she cover the polymer clay? I actually don't use much of it on the clay itself because from this point downwards, it was, as you saw in the demo, she was covered with paper wrappers, and that was onto tinfoil and masking tape. So I'm not quite sure what she means by using clear Paverpol on polymer clay. Maybe she can just elaborate a little bit.
So for example, if she bakes a head and she wants to wrap a hat here with something
Oh,
related to
oh
Paverpol, could she
yes,
do it?
yes, I have done that. My apple cellar has got Paver cotton, and that's just directly onto the Paverpol head
On the polymer clay?
using clear Paverpol onto the polymer clay head using Paverpol,
Uh-huh.
clear Paverpol with the Paver cotton.
Okay. I believe
So
we have
yes, you
a
can.
few more pictures to show of your, no? So do you have any more pieces that you want to show or any final words to
Okay.
the folks here
So
today?
as a result of Lisa's class, I had to try the Paver scrub.
Oh, yes.
So I did birds, just like she showed us, and I love the way they turned out. Can't
Uh-huh.
believe that this is tinfoil and wood. It looks like actual granite. That also led me to make a bunny.
Ooh.
So this is the terracotta Paver scrub, but then I decided it was too light, so I mixed Paver color with Josephine varnish, matte varnish. I mixed some terracotta and did a coat, and then I mixed brown and put another coat on. So I think that he'll be fine in the garden. I haven't put him out there yet because he hasn't cured long enough, but he will be going out next week, and I'm going to see how well he actually handles it outside.
Very cool.
And then, of course, a wine bottle. Thank you,
Oh.
Lise, for your course.
How pretty.
So there are so many products that you can use. I mean, that you can make amazing things with Paverpol. It's pretty obvious why I'm addicted.
Very cool. Uh, Rose Pontillo wants to know, does the clay get sealed with the clear?
The clay. Oh, so she wants to use clear Paverpol to seal it with. I've never done that. What I have done, however, is I use the Josephine varnishes to seal my polymer clay. So depending the flesh sections of the um, sculpts, I will use the very matte varnish, and it works beautifully on Paverpol and I mean on polymer clay. And if you need to clean the sculpt, you just put it under running water, and that cleans the sculpt. So I've never tried to use Paverpol. Oh,
What's there?
I lie. I have. This one is a polymer clay head that I then painted with bronze Paverpol.
Okay,
So I have used Paverpol on polymer clay, and it works
just fine.
beautifully.
Uh-huh.
So you see, yet again, I'm using the decorative relief. I love this stuff so much. I use it everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And this is also decorative relief
Wow,
turned into a
that's
butterfly.
butterfly. Yeah.
And
You
it's
really
just
like the
decorative
relief.
relief with, yeah. Oh, I love it so much.
Uh-huh.
So yes, I have put Paverpol directly onto polymer clay, and it sticks beautifully. I think there's another artist I've seen who does it as well. I can't pronounce her name, but I have seen that there are things that she has made, and then she's painted with, particularly bronze, that she's painted over the polymer clay, and it's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, that's what attracts me to all these mediums concerning Paverpol, is that you can really combine with mediums that you already know and master, right? So you
Hmm.
can combine with polymer clay. Liz showed what she did with aluminum foil. So there are so many, many, many possibilities. So it's not like, okay, I'm going to ignore what I make here and start a new journey. No, I'm going to combine these two roads and take to a different destination. And that's what's so fun about it, because you can create and you can express yourself in different ways with it.
I I have fully embraced mixed media, and
Uh-huh.
it is specifically because of Paverpol that I'm doing that. Before that, I used to be very elitist. Oil paintings are oil paintings, and
Uh-huh.
acrylic paintings are acrylic paintings. But now I mix mediums all over the place.
All
I
over,
use
yeah.
whatever I can think of and just put them all together, and it works brilliantly.
That's good. That's good. Pixie is saying, Brenda, I really enjoyed your interview and seeing all of your sculptures. The demo was awesome. Thank you. Joe, Rebecca, Brenda,
Thank you,
great
Pixley.
seeing you. You rocked this demo. Thank you so much. Suzanne Bars, Brenda, thank you so much for showing us and whetting my appetite. Brenda,
Ah,
thank you for
good.
sharing your art. Loved seeing and hearing about where you live. I always look forward for to your next project. Sue Keener, thank you for all the information. Such a joy to watch. Barbara Feltz, have you tried sculpting a face with rose clay?
I have, but I'm not really good enough yet. Um, I think it's the speed with which it dries. I've made various roses and things like that, but the face ended up looking like it had cracks in it. I do um, quite often use rose clay for the feet. So here I've used rose clay.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, he's also got rose clay feet.
Uh-huh.
So I
Nice.
do use, and the rose clay is incredibly hard. It is like rock.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever come across a clay that
So hard.
that dries that hard. I can't remember. There was another one. Oh, my moth. Where's my moth? I've lost my moth.
You lost the
Okay,
moth.
my moth. You
It went
probably
flying.
organized to get it because
Yeah,
you like them so
she's
much. You've
flying to the
arranged to get it.
US.
She also has really pretty feet that
Uh-huh.
I've made with the rose clay.
With the
But
rose clay.
I think now I can try faces again because I think it was just a case of inexperience. But now I've worked with rose clay quite a lot more. So I probably will be trying faces again quite soon. I think the reason that I've stuck with polymer clay is because I've spent quite a few years working with it, and so I'm comfortable with it. But
Okay.
I think it's time that I try a face in rose clay again.
Stephanie P. saying, thank you, Brenda, for sharing your fabulous art with us and telling us some tips. Webby Sheila, I can only dream of having half your skill and talent, but you were very inspiring for me and I might just try it anyway. Brenda, oh my word, how did you make those beautiful leaves that you show in the tree guy?
Those are cardstock that I cut into the shape of leaves, bent, and then put layers of Paverpol with Paverplast. I think it was 2 layers on both sides, and then painted green.
Pixie Heaven wants to know, can the polymer clay go outdoors if it's covered in Paverpol bronze?
Yes, yes.
Craft
The reason I don't put mine outdoors is because of the fur that I use on them, and
that
the
you
fur
use on the
won't
head.
stand up very well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Crafter, thank you, Brenda, for such a wonderful interview. Appreciate seeing the range of your projects. Thanks, Shahar, for your interviewing style. They don't teach this interview style in broadcasting industry either. I think every course I took, I had to change something. Jacqueline Patrick, great class. I now have so many ideas. So Brenda,
Good.
when do you plan to start again in-person classes?
Well, I'm in discussion with somebody who's got studio space for me, which is a lot more central. And she's looking at middle of May, maybe into June. And so I'm hoping that I'm going to be doing a lot of courses there. But in the meantime, if anybody is interested, they must just contact me, do it via my website, and we can see if we can set something up. I'd love to teach you right here in my studio. The
Yeah, of
ceiling is up,
course.
it's safe, so you can come.
New ceiling, no problem. But the online classes, you give group classes or an individual classes as well? What's the format there?
I've done group.
Okay.
I personally prefer doing group classes because the group dynamics that happen, even if the people are not in the same room together, there's still group dynamics that are happening. So even with online, I've done 4 people at a time because otherwise the screen gets a little bit too crowded. And then what I do is I put all of the products together. I'm not sure if I've told you yet. I put all of the products together and I courier it off to the person who's going to be doing the class. And then
Nice.
at the appointed time, we all get together, turn our laptops on, and we get dirty together and make amazing stuff.
That's very cool. Brenda, thank you so much for being here. And I bet, give some time, this is going to be a whole new trend in South Africa, right? Because your pieces are
I hope so.
gorgeous. Yes, the pieces are gorgeous. The medium provides so many possibilities. I think you have a very successful career ahead of you. So thank you so much. And of
Thank you
course,
for inviting me.
oh yeah. I'm going to invite you to give a course now. Just wait.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
if you want to know more about Brenda's classes and the products in South Africa, the place to go is mudcraft.co.za/Paverpol. It's in the bottom of your screen. If you live in another country, you want to go to paverpol.com, click on distributors, and you're going to see the list. There is somebody near you. And in the US, PaverpolAmerica.com leads you to our store for Paverpol products. Wow, we just ended our tour to South Africa, meeting Brenda Helfrich and her textile sculptures. And I know you have a lot of ideas on your head, but we are not going to stop here. No, 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 no. On the 28th, which is a Wednesday here, but it's a Thursday in New Zealand, we are going to be interviewing Gwen Nicholson from New Zealand, and she also has a lot of things prepared for you. I know because we are receiving them, and it's amazing. You're going to love it. But you have to put on your calendar. If you are in the US, we are going to start at 2 p.m. That's 8 a.m. in New Zealand. So make sure it's a different day for us and a different time zone. The same will happen when we interview the Australian distributor there. So you want to make sure you're here on Wednesday, 28 at 2 p.m. And we are going to be talking to Gwen and taking a tour throughout New Zealand. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you back here on the 28th.